so the first setup I have is a 6.6 medium action casting rod. I have a Shimano SLX XT on this one, and I mainly use this for crankbaits, and I'll use certain topwater lures, maybe something like a jitterbug or other like hard body topwater, nothing heavy duty. Now the line I have on here is 15-pound mono. Everybody has different opinions on what to throw on crankbaits. I like mono because of just the ease of changing out the lures as well as respooling just for this type of bait. Now next one I have, this is spinning setup. Now this is an old rod. It's a Shimano rod I got probably well over a decade ago, and originally got it for $30. It's a two-piece. It is nothing special, but what I like about it is that it's incredibly whippy, and I only use it for one thing, and that is throwing weedless jigs like the one I got in here right now, storm search baits, things like that. It's a great lure for this setup that I have. I got a Mitchell reel with some 10-pound nanofill. Now what I like about this is that it cuts the weeds really easily. So if you're dealing with light cover weeds, it's going to go through and you're not constantly having to get the weed off your line, as well as it's easy to fish for a long time. It's not hard, it's not power fishing. I have great success with this early on in the year, so there might be times I change this one out, but April, May, June, this one's always going to be in my boat. And then the third one that I'm always going to have is a 7-foot medium heavy. It's another spinning rod, and the reason I keep this one on my boat at all times is that if conditions are bad and I don't know which way the wind's going to be going, and I don't want to worry about difficulties with casting with the bait casters, I'm going to go with this because I can still throw some of my heavier baits with it that I'd normally throw on the casting gear. And with this, because it's a larger, it's actually for ocean fishing, at least that's what it's marketed as. It's an Akuma. I've had it for a few years, really like it. I use this mostly for pike, but it's also a great spinnerbait when it's kind of bad conditions and you don't feel like dealing with birds' nests. That's kind of my go-to three. Now this is a new setup that I got, another spinning. This one's going to be for worms and Ned rigs. This is a 7-foot extra fast Bass X rod. Now I really like St. Croix. I mostly use them for not bass related things, but I do have two for bass fishing. Now this one, really fast tip, but it does not have much bend, which is nice for single hook lures, stuff you're gonna be fishing more vertically. Got a brand new Mitchell 300 Pro on this one, haven't even used it yet. I like the Mitchell brand for spinning gear. I have some from the 80s and 90s, they still work great. Really good brand, and I'm not saying that just because it's my first name. Now, one thing I like about this rod and then my casting rod is that they both have very little cork. Now, the nice thing about that with a kayak is your hands are gonna be getting wet, you're gonna be getting fish snot on you, and it's a little easier to clean. And I find the cork, now, it doesn't hold up as good as foam and then plastic will. Not that St. Croix is a bad rod company, I like them a lot, but I've always had bad experiences with cork, and there's a lot of water involved, and they're the first things that have worn out of me. Now the last one that I got is one I've used very little. I got it brand new last year. It's another St. Croix, it's a Bass X, same brand, but last year's model, and this is a heavy action. Now, I've yet to catch a fish on it. I got it really late in the season last year. Haven't really broken it in. I got it for two things: flipping, as well as throwing frogs, heavy cover. I got a 50-pound braid, Daiwa Tatula. It's a great reel. I like this combo a lot. Really excited to use it this year, but I'm probably gonna hold off closer to June. Throw it when we get some more weed cover, and we'll see how it goes. So this one's gonna stay off the boat for the first couple months. but I'm excited to use it. Most of my casting gear, bait casters, I'm gonna have left hand retrieve. That's not something that was super popular a decade plus ago, but just